So this is my 2007 FJ Cruiser, and it definitely didn't always look like this. In fact, it took a lot of work to get it to this point, and I kind of want to show you guys the build because it's kind of mind-boggling. So I live in Colorado, and I used to live in Hawaii, all the way on Oahu. There was this FJ Cruiser sitting in a parking lot in Waipahu at a Cricket Wireless, and it was vinyl wrapped and it looked like crap, and it kind of had been abandoned. The cats were cut off on it. The fuel tank was drilled. Pretty sure some homeless people were sleeping in it. And my buddy, he bought it, shipped it to Tucson, Arizona, where I went and picked it up. And I brought it all the way back to Colorado. Now it's yellow in this shot because the vinyl had been removed. Okay, so we have the FJ Cruiser in Colorado now. So it took a lot to get it here, from Hawaii to then Tucson, Arizona, to now it rode on a trailer all the way to Colorado. So let me go over it just briefly with you so you can see what actually needs done, what kind of shape it's in. The vinyl is off of it. The vinyl came off of it before it left Hawaii because it said Cricket Wireless all over it, and that could be a like an advertisement nightmare for a company. So you can see kind of the outlines of what's left of it on the body. The truck is going to get painted, but let's kind of go over it. So the whole truck is pretty corroded. There's lots of rust on it. The frame has quite a bit of corrosion. Thankfully, there's no holes in it. It's just all surface corrosion. I went over the entire frame on the truck. I've already started wire wheeling the front. I wire wheeled it, sandblasted it, power washed it after all of that, prepped it with a degreaser, and then I've been spraying it with like a rust blocker from Rust-Oleum, or maybe it's Duplicolor, I forget. I also did a body mount chop back here because I had to throw some wheels and tires on it because the wheels and tires that were on it were so bad. So with that said, these were the wheels that were on it, the Pro Comp Extremes. I don't know what model it is, that's just what it says on there. The tires were so dry rotted, this is actually the spare. This one's in better shape than the ones that were on it. The ones that were on it, the corners were all chewed up. So under the hood's actually in really good shape. The battery was replaced 2 years ago when Billy picked the truck up. I've deep cleaned everything underneath here, and we did an oil change and an air filter change. The wiper motor, or the wiper pump motor, was bad. So we swapped it out and it works now. But overall, it's in okay shape. The body looks terrible and the control arms are rusted to pieces. But that's okay because we ordered literally all new things to put on this truck, including suspension, wheels, tires. So the next step was obviously paint. It needed a lot of body work, and the body work itself actually cost me quite a bit of money. Colorado was getting colder during this time, so I didn't really want to do it myself. Wheeling it in and out of the garage was going to be difficult, so I actually took it to Mako to get it painted, which I'll make a separate video on Mako paint jobs and how I feel about them. So stay tuned for that. It'll show up on the channel eventually. It did need a lot of body work. The clear coat was fading. There were some dings that needed fixed, and they definitely fixed it. So while all of this was going on, I was prepping the old ARB bumper that I pulled off of it. I really like ARB bumpers. They're good mental insurance for deer and other rodents that cross the road. And I mean, I've literally pushed over a tree with one before, so I wanted to restore this. I put POR 15 on it, and then I ended up spraying Raptor all over it. So the Raptor coating was able to go right over the top of the POR 15. I used chemical adhesion versus a mechanical adhesion, and it stuck just fine, and it's been nice and tough ever since. Once that was done, it was time for the big reveal. I got the truck back from paint and it looked beautiful. So everything went pretty well with reinstalling things. So I Raptor coated the rock sliders, threw those back on both sides. They came out good. You can see the texture in this shot. And then everything was pretty good with the paint, minus they forgot to paint under the hood, which I did pay for, so I did have to take it back a couple weeks later and get it painted. Snorkel went right back on. It was nice that the holes were already drilled. All of the exterior plastics went back on the truck. I did play with the idea of leaving those off, but for now I left them on the truck. That might be something I explore in the future. The plasticky look on these trucks is kind of hit or miss. Later I replaced this stock bumper that I'm installing here with a nice metal bumper, and then it was off to suspension. So I removed the Bilstein shocks and the old 3-inch ARB springs. There was a spacer at the top to make it even higher, but I removed that as well. So I threw in brand new OME ARB springs, and this is supposed to be a 2-inch lift. Threw that on both sides. You can still see a lot of corrosion in these shots. And then for the front, I ended up removing the upper control arms, the lower control arms, the front strut and spring. I replaced the lower control arm placements. I replaced the top with some aftermarket ones, and I ended up having to replace these axles. So the MT64 shocks went in. You can see the massive diameter of them. I will say, since I've driven on them, they are very comfortable. That was a lot of work, but I have the MT64s in, these cheapo upper control arms. I have some aftermarket replacement control arms, lots of little things. The brakes on this truck were absolutely terrible, so I chose to replace the front and rear rotors and the pads front and rear. I considered changing the calipers, but since everything worked and nothing was leaking, I just defaulted to rotors and pads. Wheels on the FJ, I decided to go with something lighter weight. One of my biggest complaints about the setup on the FJ right now is it's just everything feels really heavy. I'm trying to make it as nimble as possible, but also trying to make it as capable as possible. So for right now, I'm gonna throw SSW Nova wheels on. This is the matte bronze. It's got a machined line into it. Usually I don't like machine lines like that. And I actually ended up swapping from the full machined wheel to the bronze. It's something I want to try. So one of the benefits of having my own tire machines is I can mount and balance tires anytime I want. So for now, I'm going to throw this set of 35-inch KO2s on there from BF Goodrich. I don't really like these tires because they ride kind of rough, they're a little noisy, and they're really hard to balance for some reason. So, but that's okay. This is going to do us fine for right now. Some of you may have noticed this valve stem here. These are really interesting. I'm trying these out. They are from Apex, but basically it's a quick release valve stem so that you can deflate air really quick. For some reason when I ordered these, I thought that when I would pull on them, it would deflate it down to like 10 PSI, but that's not quite the case. You still have to run a gauge on it. You just are able to pull it, you know, hold your gauge on there, get it down to whatever pressure you want to air down to, and then you can close it again. Of note, you can't pull the valve with the valve cap on. That's a good safety thing. We'll see over time if these leak or anything. Again, I'm trying them out, so we'll see. I did pay for these. I paid full price for them too. Same thing with the wheels. So this isn't like I'm talking this up because, you know, I got them for free or anything like that. No, I paid for all this, so. This is my biggest complaint. It literally thinks I need 255 ounces of weight on the outside. It's kind of crazy. So, for reference, that's 5 of these strips. That's ridiculous. I think I'm gonna pull the front apart again and put I then threw a roof rack on the top. This roof rack's from TKM Auto. I actually did a separate install video on this. It came out beautifully and the parts were aluminum and powder coated. Yeah, so eventually I threw my rooftop tent on top of this roof rack, and honestly it holds it just fine. I have no issues with it. I do like the air dam in the front. It does reduce the wind noise a lot. In fact, I get more wind noise from the top of the bumper, the air going over the front of the truck, than I do the roof rack in the tent. I did add some lights to the top. I added some little ditch lights up here, and then the Baja Designs, I believe they're the S4s in the front. I ended up putting a Warn winch on the ARB bumper. Now this is the ARB bumper that was on the truck originally. In some of the clips you already saw, it was ground down, sandblasted, Pour 15 was put on it, then Raptor coating was sprayed on it with a gun. I did put a synthetic rope on the winch, and I put this pretty cool hook on it. I did do ARB skid plates all the way underneath the truck to protect it. I did put an ARB single pump on it with a pressure sensor, and I did add onboard air to the bumper. So now I can flip a switch inside the truck. The air system will air up to, I think, 95 or 100 PSI. I can hook my air line into it, walk around, fill my tires up. The pump will kick on when it's needed. It'll turn off when it's not needed. And then I can flip the switch and turn it back off. I did put a solar panel on the hood as well. This puts out 105 watts, but it's from Linsun. Their logo is up here. I can put out a video just on the install on that. I actually really like that. It does a good job of keeping everything charged up on the truck. But overall, the paint came out good. The suspension is fantastic on it. That MT64 suspension, I highly recommend it. Love the wheels. Still waiting on proper tires so I can put my spare on the back. I did step down a size on tires from 35s to 34s. They just haven't showed up yet. But yeah, thanks for watching the video today. I'm sure I will put a video of this thing wheeling here soon. There's some snow in it right now. We have 11 inches outside. But yeah, the truck came out fantastic. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Have a good one.